Jack and Jill here.
Hello.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the call.
Hey, we're early.
In these few brief moments when there's only a few people on here, now's the time to make a fool out of yourself.
Oh, oh, pick me. I'm good at that.
Jill,
Can I do it first?
Ask me anything you want, Joe.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to say this. We had some funny things come up on our recordings for this next week. So I would highly encourage listening to those shows. Those are good. So, Jack, tell me what's on your calendar for tomorrow. How's that?
What is on my calendar? Oh, because we're talking about calendars.
We are.
Today.
Exactly.
I honestly don't know, but whatever it is, I'll follow it and succeed. That was the whole point.
Hey, Albert.
The whole point was have a calendar and follow it, and then you don't have it takes all the mystery out of getting stuff done.
Have breakfast.
And you know what else we learned is you're only as good as the people that are around you.
Yes. And we have great people around us.
So if you have two good kids and one really bad one, you got to figure that out.
Funny. Okay. I love it. So anybody have anything silly? I guess not. You want to just dive right in here?
Yeah, sure.
Man, we got some good questions already popping in. I'm really happy.
I wonder if everyone can hear us. I guess no one's saying they can't, unless Jill and I are just having a talk
among
with
ourselves.
Yes, thank you.
Daryl. Okay, awesome. All right, I am going to jump in here. We have great questions. Okay, Peter asks, I have a deal on a lot I can buy for $4,000 and sell for $9,000.
That's why we're here.
This is sounding wonderful. The person on the title is deceased, but left everything to their 97-year-old.
Blind mother, no probate.
Oh my gosh. Right, Peter? Oh, I feel this already. A relative is helping with the sale. I was going to go through title, but they're saying probate is needed, and it costs a minimum of $1,500 to $2,000. Should I just skip title and do this close myself if I get a letter from the family stating no other relatives?
No.
Title mine to the rescue.
Yeah, maybe. So, Peter, what state is it in?
Yeah.
In general, if you can just type it in the chat, or type it in the chat, please. And that's a huge issue. You know, Title Mine is designed to help you close deals the way that you would with a regular title company, or the way that you would what we've come to know as a notary close. Take all the work out of it. But we don't have any magic dust there at Title Mine. You know, we can't dive into some of the legal issues and solve them for you. I mean, we could, and we will eventually release a product like that, but we got to walk before we run there. So the products that we're releasing really
Florida
mimic. It's Florida. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Florida's an escrow state. I mean, a probate state.
I gotta wonder, who thought this was a good idea to leave everything to their 97-year-old blind mother?
Well, they probably, she probably got it when she was just 60.
Yeah, he did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Usually you pick somebody young. Don't you leave stuff to someone younger than you?
Well, maybe it was left to them by a 180-year-old.
Well, he said the blind mother. I don't know. This is hilarious.
You know what I'm saying, Joe?
I do know, yes.
The mother, old blind mother who's now 97, probably inherited this when she was 28 and chose not to do anything for 70 years.
Maybe she wasn't blind then.
What else do we know about it, Jill?
I don't know. These are, you know what? The son had the real estate and the family didn't know. Oh,
okay.
All right. I got it.
I literally just found a piece of a 10-acre property that no one on my staff, including me, knew we owned. We have no trace of it. And we are incredibly organized here. So this stuff happens.
It does. So, what is your advice? Boy, some of these are just tough ones because it's like, I mean, let me run this by you. There's one thing you could do is say, look, lady, I would buy it for $4,000, but it's going to cost me $2,000 to get it done. So I'll give you $2,000.
Well, Peter's saying here, I can go through title, but what title's going to say is exactly what you just found out.
Yeah, it's going to need to go through
It's going to need probate. Hopefully, I don't know this for sure. A lot of states, California is one of them, has a asset-specific probate scenario that's really fast and really cheap for situations just like this. So I don't know enough about Florida to know whether or not they're one of them. If that's the case, you just file a bunch of affidavits and stuff, and you can get through it with a death certificate and all kinds of stuff.
And you know what else? I hate to say this, but Peter, in 6 months from now, this might be too small of a deal for you.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's another thing.
$5,000 spread. It's right on the line.
Yeah, it's not. You have to. If it's going to take you 2 weeks, is it worth it in the end? So,
Right.
Okay. Keep us posted.
Hey, at least it worked.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Thank you. Luke asked, America's Auction Network has been trying to option land to sell on their auction TV channel. They went through an ad call, called a bunch of people on landpin.com, and you guys go for it.
Wow.
I'm trying a couple properties with this.
Good to know.
Wow, they found us? How cool is this? What?
You're funny, Jill.
I think this is awesome. So yeah, if anybody else is involved in this, we'd love to know. I think that's fantastic.
That's cool. It's either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Probably really good.
I think it's great. Okay. Yeah, let us know how it goes. I'm super curious. All right, and Peter says, I have a 40-acre parcel in Coconino, Arizona, different state, that has easements all around the 40 acres in the subdivision, but legal access into the development is fuzzy, although I can see physical access via dirt road. My offer was $6,600.
Yeah. So I know Arizona very, very, very well. And if you have 40 acres that you can get for $6,000 in Coconino County, you need to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
unless
I like
there's
that.
any glaring issues.
And legal issues.
Yeah, unless
legal
there's
access
none.
Is great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Typical Coconino 40 goes for, and this is overnight sale, 20 grand.
Yep.
They're usually closer to 120.
And Peter, dirt access, a dirt road is access.
It is for Jill.
Right. I'm not, yeah. So I think it's great.
That is definitely worth looking into. That's an extremely valuable piece of property. There's with very few exceptions, no bad property in Coconino County.
That's true.
It's where Flagstaff is, by the way.
Exactly. It's super pretty up there.
Yeah. With water and everything.
This is for you, Jack. Tony wants to know when gold is going to be available.
My target is January 1st, and it's looking very, very good right now. It's going to include a lot of stuff. Data tree, specifically.
Cool. Awesome. Albert wants to know. Oh, Albert said that the America's Auction Network contacted him also.
I'll find out what's going on. If anybody, if you have a callback number or an email address of the schmo that's contacting you guys, send it to jack@landinvestors.com, and I'll address it.
Cool. Shambaz says, I haven't been using any doc fees.
What?
I know many people do. Thoughts on doc fees?
I love doc fees.
I like them. Yeah. We used to do $4.99. Remember that, Jack? For a while, we've done everything from $299 to like $499, depending on the property.
We still do.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Here's one of the reasons that I love doc fees. When you get into a situation that someone wants to buy the property and they're ready to buy it, but they can't get past the price, a lot of times you can just say, look, I'll waive the doc fee if you do it right now. That's true. One of the reasons I love doc fees. Another reason is that when we were a huge seller on eBay, we started with like $100 doc fee, and then it went to $200. And our gauge was, is anybody complaining about it? And the answer was always no.
Exactly.
And it got to be $500 and $500.
Uh-huh.
And we would list a property for $1 no reserve, 30-day auction for $1, and it would sell for $80 with a doc fee of $500. Mm-hmm. And so we could take that to the bank. We're closing multiple deals a day doing that.
Exactly. Yep.
That market's still there.
Mm-hmm. Andy asked, struggling to decide if I should buy this property. You want to look at this?
Yeah, sure.
It's 5 acres, Mojave County, for $950. Jack's going to
go ahead with the next question, Joe.
Okay, cool. Next question is Steve K asking, setting up to close my first purchase. Nice. Both $6,000 amounts for 20 acres. Each has issues. I'm trying to determine if it will be a problem. I may just try and close these with TitleMind, but first the seller needs to close and get funds. Needs to close and get the funds by the 31st. The issue. The seller bought this on a combined PSA/conveyance document in 1998 for $17,000, and financed $7,000 with seller financing. Since been paid off with wording in the contract that says he will receive a fulfillment deed and bill of sale. He has lost the file, so any such deed received has been lost and nothing been recorded since his purchase. Does this mean I should not close on this? Second parcel will be a separate question.
So my question is, does the vesting deed show that there's no liens on the property? Right. Am I reading that right, Joe?
Yeah. Because if it shows that there's still something outstanding, then we have an issue.
And there's no evidence of any of that?
Right.
That's a mess.
I'm trying to think, where does...
This happens to us once in a while, and we just run away.
Do you know in Title Pro 24/7, you know what? In Title Pro 24/7, there are conveyance documents. There are documents in there.
Request too.
I would pull it up
so
in there.
This is good advice. This is exactly what I would do.
Go to Title Pro 24/7, pull it up, and look at all the documents that are associated with this property. If that company did what they said, they would have recorded that document showing the guy free and clear. So even though he doesn't have the document, you can get a copy of it. And that would make me sleep really well.
Me too.
Thank you. Okay.
This parcel's up on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Please.
So this is 5 acres for $950. East of the 40 in Yucca.
Oh.
Remember, Joe?
Yeah. Can you go back in for me a little bit?
Yeah, I would do this deal.
Keep going. Look at the access. Look at the homes around there.
100% access. There's not even just homes. They're like compounds and stuff.
Wow.
See this? See all this?
Yeah.
This is a jog to the bank deal.
I like it.
So whenever I'm on the fence about a deal, and I wouldn't be on the fence about this, I would buy this. I would pull it up in Parcel Fact while I'm on the phone with the person and buy it right away. But whenever I'm on the fence, the question I ask myself is, can I sell it for $2,000 in a pinch because I'm spending $1,000? Yeah, this is a great property.
Good.
I bet. Hold on, let me see land use. 1 second, Joe. Sorry.
It's all good.
I don't know what land use 400 is in Mojave, but I would sell this property. See all these mobile homes right here? This is a mobile home person's dream.
Oh, yeah.
See this?
Yep.
In fact, and I'm just, dream with me for a second. This is a mobile home park waiting to happen. And here's why. Look at the freeway.
How far is it?
Right there.
Right.
Right off of this major exit right there.
Awesome.
See?
Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's right there.
There's a lot of potential uses for this.
Oh, yeah.
And there's surrounding mountains and stuff, see?
It'd be a pretty good view.
Right.
And all that. So, love it. All right. Shamgod asks, got a couple higher price deals that I may sell next week. And up to this point, I've just accepted wires. Assuming they're uncomfortable wiring or don't have a bunch of credit cards to put it on, are you just using a title company to close? And are you helping them pay to go through them? What's the best way to handle them?
Well, tomorrow I would, as you can see on the screen, I would definitely start the process with taking Heartland payments. So if it's higher priced, it would absolutely go through title.
Well, yeah, that's true. That would be my first choice. But the second thing is, if it's the higher ones, Shamgod, those are the ones I want wired to me because I don't want anybody getting the fees. Remember?
Yeah.
So even if I could take even taking a credit card for $40,000, that's where I don't want the credit card because I don't want to pay the fees on the $40,000.
Jill, you know what? I'm changing my answer to Jill's.
Thank you. My first choice is a bank wire, and then they pay the $25 wire fee. And usually that's all our big transactions too. That's what everybody prefers.
I really would too. I'd sell it on title here, assuming you bought it on title.
Right. And yeah, that's the first choice.
Or at least escrow.
Exactly. So
title mine will be up and running in a couple weeks here at the latest. So
exactly.
We could help you for sure.
All right. Daryl
But don't wait. If you got a seller,
don't wait.
Reel them in.
Take the money. Do you ever...
money. Little things slip out. Jill says little things. Like, take the money. Oh, and then it's all sweet Jill again.
Yeah. Do you ever repeat mail to the same list at a later date? Only if we screwed up.
We just got this question. We recorded all the podcasts today. And this is one of the questions. The question is, the guys over at Yellow Letters say that you should mail
seven times.
7 times before
soften them up.
It's ridiculous advice. The answer is no. I've never sent the same area twice, and without letting like a year or two go by. And here's why: because we just our strike percentage, our yield percentage are so positive that we haven't needed to
grab the good ones and move on to a next area.
That said, with houses, we're going to experiment next month here. We're going to do a house, film the whole thing, and send. We're doing a pretty large subdivision, a specific subdivision in southern Los Angeles, and we are going to do probably going to do follow up.
Maybe just a follow up reminder, something light.
A follow up, probably a postcard that says, "Hey, we sent you an offer a couple weeks ago. I just want to make sure we just want to know if you have any interest at all, call us. Otherwise, we're going to just take you off the list, respectfully."
Yeah. Because here's the thing, Daryl. What we all send is so good that we find that people hang on to it. I don't need them to have 2 copies of the same letter, because my people put it in, if they're really, they usually file it away.
Yep.
And then they act on it later. So wait, and you'll see in 20 years, not kidding, or, 5 years, when these people call you back, and you're still around and they have your letter, you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is true. This really is true. Yanni all the time is going, I got another one from 2007. I mean, that happens all the time.
Daily.
So yeah, Yanni loves those. She thinks it's the crack up, those calls.
Who's Yanni?
Who's Yanni?
No one knows who Yanni is, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're just like saying Yanni.
Yanni on my team gets those calls. So that's who that is. So if any, you know what? People don't know who Yanni is. They call and go, Yanni? Oh, Yanni. They know. She answers the phone most of the time. Okay, Peter said, without naming names, Jack, just kidding. How many letters a week are the top 10 people in the group sending?
That's a good question.
Oh, Jen. Wait, is Jen on the call? Jen will tell us.
Yes. We can't name names, but so the top people I can answer that question. It's not the number of letters that are getting sent. It's the quality of the pricing and the dollar amounts that, I could speak for a couple of people I know who are at the top of the group that are just killing it. And they target land. Here's a typical land scenario. 1,500 to 2,000 letters a month max. I don't even think Luke sends that much out. But the yield percentage on how they buy and sell it is ridiculous. Like it's not a normal yield percentage. It's a lot higher.
Hey Jen, when you can type some numbers in the
Who's
chat. Jen, what the heck?
These people need to know.
What is this? All right,
we just need to be introduced.
I'm sorry.
Joe.
Apparently, we have to do a welcome to our team day. Okay. Jen is the person who's in charge of offers to owners. If you've not talked to Jen, you will when you go, or you may not even talk to her, but she's the one that oversees and processes all your orders. So
Peter, to further answer that question, for instance, we had a member on our call, not last week, but the week before, named Justin, and he's relatively new, but he sent out 800 letters for houses and bought 4 properties. So it's not necessarily the number; it's the pricing. You really have to spend some time pricing.
Yep. So I'm going to add a little something. I don't know if everybody can read this or not. So I'm going to add Shamgod's little note because, since I'm saying names, sorry. Someone sent out a lot, like 10,000, and his next is going to be between 5 and 15. So, and I have a Jen is awesome. Yay. So, so Shamgod put it out there for everybody. So I didn't just put my foot in my mouth. So that's a lot. 5 to 15,000 is a lot. So that's a hold on to your hat. Here come the phone calls.
Hey, did you make your money back yet, Shamgod? On the mailer, the dollar mailer, dollar for dollar. You can type it in the chat.
Jared asks, on a podcast, you said you have 24-month to millionaire spreadsheet. Will you ever put that out?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll do it right now.
Oh, Shamgut said I bought 10 today, so I should make it back quickly.
This is Luke Smith stuff.
Here we go.
About 10 properties today.
10 properties today. Thank you.
All right, I take back what I said. Send out a lot of mail. We just don't do high volume, crazy volume anymore. We just really, really price it like.
Well, we're doing different markets now too, because the dollar amount's bigger, so it's a whole kind of different beast, if you will. Sometimes, Sham God, that's awesome. All right, so you're working on that. Can we post that somewhere, Jack?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. JT wants to know, I want to know what you do and don't do in TitleMind. You know, I kind of want to know what you do and don't do in TitleMind too.
Here's what you do in TitleMind. You don't do it yet because it's not released, but it'll be there on November 1st. And we're testing it right now, and it's going great. You log on to it, just like you do all the rest of our websites, and you join for free. And then you submit your order. So you type in, if you have a deal, regular deal, you type in the sale price that you send a bunch of mail out, you get a bunch of letters back or calls back, and the seller agrees. So you fill out a form that says the seller's agreed to buy APN whatever for $5,000. Here's all their information, and here's my information. I'm the buyer. And you check out. All right, it's $200 or $300 or $400. I don't remember exactly how we priced it. And then we go along. We close the deal for you. We take care of every single thing. From there, we contact the seller and we close the deal for you. We're going to ask you at some point to send the money.
Cool.
It's as simple as that. Believe me, I've been on that. I have been where you are for 20 years, and I have always been frustrated and have nothing but negative stuff to say about other people closing my deals. So we are here to solve that for the universe. And then the second product, there's another product that we have that we are not going to release for another 30 days called, and it's a full-blown escrow company. We're waiting for the licensing to come back in Arizona, which we're told is going to happen within days. And so, yeah, you can buy and sell your primary residence with us.
Yeah.
Not to mention dual escrow. So everybody here, we're all here for the same reason. We buy a piece of property, but we want to own it theoretically for 10 minutes and resell it. So we will keep escrow open for you.
Man, I wish I had us 10 years ago.
Yeah, me too.
That would have been so nice. Oh, good. That's okay. That's why I say we got here as fast as we could. Jen's got people sending up to 6,000 at a time here, and in the 1,500 range.
This is offers to
This is where it should be in offers to owners. Jen, who works for us, who's on our team here, Jen St. Marie, if anybody's curious, is in my office on my team. Thank you very much. We have actually really gone to, it's Team Jack and Team Jill.
We have separate teams. I don't know how that happened.
And separate zip codes. Oh, I know how. My team knows how. Just kidding. All right, Matt asks, I'm working in an extremely rural county in Tennessee. Response from my offers has been much better than I expected. Just bought 2 properties very cheaply, but a little concerned about buying a bunch of these properties. Is there ever any worry that a county is too rural?
I've never. It's all a function of price. So what you want the seller to say, if you're doing everything right and you're buying these properties, when you go to resell them, the person that's going to buy them from you, this is the sentence that you want them to have them say this in their head. At this price, I have to do this deal. There's no way. I mean, yeah, there might be issues, there are potential easements, whatever it is, I'll deal with it because this price that I'm buying this property for is way, way less than any other property I've ever looked at in that area. And then that solves all your problems.
You know, it's funny. The only time I've ever had any things with counties being so rural is that when you need to get someone on the phone, like you're double checking the recording fee, there's no one to call, and you have to really do some homework. Because the recorder's
the sheriff.
Exactly.
And the garbage collector.
Exactly.
And the recorder.
Right. And the post, and they run the post office, that kind of a thing.
Your other brother, Daryl.
Exactly. The other brother, Daryl. That's it. But then on the flip side, but it certainly didn't stop me when I have those properties and I'm talking to people. I'm like, let me tell you, no one's going to bug you out there, And I have said, like, look, this county is so rural that, you know what I mean? And you're buying, whatever it is. Sometimes it's bigger property. I'm like, I doubt unless you're going to put a casino up there, no one's really going to bother you. And then the right buyer goes, yay, that's exactly what I want. That's cool. Shamgod asks, I have a seller with multiple lots that are in a trust name, and he said his dad was a trustee, but upon his death, he became the trustee. There's a bunch of margin in the deal, so if there's some work, I don't mind, but I want to make sure I do it quickly. Do I just ask for the trust agreement to review and check with the county, or what's the best way? Yeah, there's smaller price lots. I wasn't going to do title, but the real retail is probably $20,000 per lot.
Right. This is what you do. And great work, by the way. Yeah. Hey, you remember Sham God, like, I don't know, a month ago was saying, this is a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
What is
now
this?
He's buying 10 properties a day.
Right. And I mean that as a compliment.
Yes.
Here's what you do on a deal like this. This is a perfect transaction for title and what we call a release, or what I call a release. By the way, if you have 100 properties that you run through title and it's all the same, in the same sub, same county, same seller, the title policy that you're going to purchase is the exact same amount as if you were purchasing one. So it's when you have multi-unit deals like this, it's almost always makes sense, especially with this margin, to go through title insurance. To add to the benefit of this, it would be great to set up a situation where you could say to the seller, look, I love the deal and I want to buy all the properties, but I'd like to buy 10% of them this month and 10% of them next month and 10% of them the month after that, and schedule with the title agent what's called a release document. So you could spread it all out, and theoretically you can, it gives you a bunch of time to sell the property correctly. So that's what I would do. But a deal like this, I would never close by myself, or let's say with a notary close. I would go through a full-blown title agent.
Cool. Jared asks, how old is a mailing list that is too old for the data? And I don't question CoreLogic, and I don't question Title Pro. The stuff is silver that you have access to right now. I don't have a problem with that. If you pulled a list 2 years ago and you're sitting on it, I might pull it again. It's going to be more current. Or if I'm buying it from somewhere substandard, I'm not.
You're just wasting your time.
Thrilled with it. No. Or some from somebody else? No. But if I'm downloading it today and I'm using it in the next 90 days, I'm great with that.
Yeah.
So
for houses, 90 days, that's pushing it, especially in a market like this. The days on market for houses in California anyway is like 30. Mm-hmm. That's lightning fast. So you don't want to let a list age too much. Think about this. Data is cheap. Data is super cheap compared to mail. You want to take an old list and take a chance, or you just want to get fresh data because you're going to spend the numbers on the mail anyway. Price of a stamp is way more expensive than the price of data. Just get good data. Then after it goes out, you don't want to leave that variable open. Like, if you didn't get the result that you wanted, you don't want to sit there and say, well, did I price it wrong, or was the data too old?
Did I send it to the wrong place?
Did I do it? You just want to remove all the... Let me put it this way. Are we horsing around here? Or are we trying to make tons of money?
Right.
Why leave it to chance? From a relative standpoint, it's so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Look at ShamGod. Mm-hmm. Bought 10 properties today.
Remember, you all are pulling data at 10 cents a record.
That's as cheap as it gets anywhere in the industry.
Thank you.
We're about to release Data Tree. Everyone's going to have access to Data Tree.
At Gold, maybe?
We
don't know what we're going to do.
If you walked into Data Tree, that's right. It'll either be silver or gold.
Well, yeah.
Mid-level membership. It costs $20,000 a month if you walked in to get Data Tree on your own. For you, it's going to cost whatever the silver or gold membership costs. So it just doesn't, I don't think it's something where you want to scrimp around.
Yeah. So like this same question, do you ever circle back around and remail an old list? Nope.
No, I never have done that.
It's too easy to move on to another county. There's so much property out there.
Yeah, to send 5, so 1,000 records costs $100, right, Joe?
Yeah. To send?
Yeah.
To mail, right.
No, just through the data. It's 10 cents a record.
Oh, $100. $100.
So you pull 1,000 records, and 1,000 for a subdivision for houses that's just crazy, crazy cheap. Mm-hmm. So why take a chance? Why not just spend $100
and do it again? Exactly, or somewhere else. Do you still publish a list of all your sales? We used to.
We used to do that, and it caused a couple people wrecked it for everybody. Is what happened.
They analyzed it, which is nothing wrong with that. But they were asking all these questions. We're like, this has nothing to do with. That's not the point of this.
You got everybody here has met somebody who said stuff like this. They just sit there and ask question like they're like the attorney general. question after question after question, and they're not. After a while, you start to say they don't even want the answers to these questions.
Right.
They want to just badger. I don't know if they're jealous. I don't know what their motivation is. Maybe they don't have any.
Yes, Jared.
So we stopped that.
You are right.
And it's a huge list, and people they were basing their mailers on our prices.
That was
just a mess,
too. I forgot about
all
that.
We wanted to do, all Jill and I wanted to do is say, hey, see here, here's this
just to show, right, to prove our transactions.
Party
and
poopers,
you could see
Jared.
them all. He said, and you are right. So I'm sure you all have seen us. I'm sure that those of you that have been around for a while, you know all our different company names. You've stumbled across us. And so
most of you probably dated somebody like that.
Well, that's funny. Love it.
Why are you wearing that shirt today? Well, I like green. Why do you like green?
Tell me about the green. What happened with that green?
Now I feel bad about myself.
You know, it looks like you overpaid for that green.
I didn't really think about it, but maybe I don't like green.
That's not the best color on you. Why did you pick that?
You know what? That green, that's not for you. In fact, you're done with green. It's blue and red for you only now.
Yep.
Okay. Like, I need another mother.
Okay, this is funny. Luke asked, do you have lots of different types and colors of pens on hand when processing deeds?
I know what he's getting at. He's getting at the blue pen thing.
Yeah.
Well, Luke's been doing this long enough to know that throw away all your pens and let. Hello.
Hello.
You should be able to hear us now, maybe?
Yay.
Cool.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Whew, sorry about that. Okay, so we want to hear about Luke's blue pen.
All I did was unplug it and plug it back in. Does it sound normal?
Yeah, do we sound okay? Yep. All right.
Okay, good.
Awesome. A little lower, but you got us.
A little lower? We can fix that.
Okay, cool.
All right, good.
All right, so the blue pen. Oh, yeah. Is it because it's easier? Is if you're copying a signature or something, you can maybe photograph a black pen instead of a blue pen. So that's why they want the blue pen. Like I might be at my photocopier.
It's less forgeable. Let's put it that way.
Got it.
But with color copiers and stuff now, the people who usually want blue pens are of a certain age.
What age is that, Jack?
90 plus.
Got it. Are they blind? And do they own a lot of property? Just kidding. Okay. Steve, okay, let me follow up here. So Steve has a question, the second question on the purchase of the $6,000 property here. Seller Rebecca has owned since 1982 and purchased with a purchase agreement of contract and deed. Grantor Silas to grantee Rebecca, subject to reservations contained in instrument auditor file X being retained by, what the heck?
Right.
Douglas and Ruth as follows. Oh boy. Grazing rights and mineral rights, of course, to explore and mine with compensation to Claire or his assigns for surface damage. Well, later in the document, it says the grantor assigns to grantee the real estate contract between Claire and Silas. Grantee assumes the real estate contract. It looks like all rights pass through the current owner is what I'm reading. So I'm already confused.
I stopped listening. What's the question?
It's like, it's a real specific, you know what, Steve, you almost got to write these down sometimes and go, okay, A to B, B to C, okay, and then C lost mineral rights, great, we weren't counting on them anyway, it's just the property, and then to D. So, okay, let me look at this again here. The grantor to grantee, Rebecca, got it. And then I have to write this down.
Yeah, let's not.
Okay, can we circle back around to this, Steve? I hate to do this to you, but this is like, I really need to write this down, and I don't, go through Title Mind. That's right. This will probably bring to Title Mind. That's what he wrote. I'm like, yep, that's perfect. I think that's great. We'll let Title Mind and Jack's team figure that one out. That's it. You know what? And honestly, I have to say this. Jack's.
That's what Jill does all the time.
Title Mind Pro.
Send it to Jack.
She's done a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, a ton of transactions. Actually, yeah, more than us that she's processed. So this has been her life. So I think it would be hard to stump her.
Yeah, me too.
So she's probably going to go, oh, one of those again. Here's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay.
Put your seatbelt on.
Exactly. Sit tight. Let's see here.
The raw form of 24-month millionaire is done.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And it's on the screen.
Hey, Jared has an update for us.
Okay.
He had some properties that were praised bad and then sold today. Yay. So that's good. All right. Shamgut
That's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. They were sold.
Let me do this 24-month millionaire really quickly, Joe. Are you there?
Uh-huh.
So that people can mull it over. So here's the basic stuff. You start with $5,000 in month one.
Oh, you just remade it for us. Thank you, Jack.
And you sell it you double your money. For $10,000, you sell one property in month one because you're learning. The second month, you spend the money on two properties and you get 10 and you double your money again. Now in month three, you do it again and again and again and again. Now, in the seventh month, you sell 64 properties. For a person like Luke Smith, yeah, it's a regular month for you with regular revenue. Bear in mind, you haven't put any more money into this company except this $5,000 so you're all using profit. Now, does it get a little unrealistic to sell 128 properties in 1 month? Yes, it does. It's not unrealistic to buy that many, but to sell it, it's starting to get a little unrealistic. That's why you give yourself 24 months to sell all these properties. You stop buying right here in month 9. And you concentrate on selling all these properties. And at the end, you've sold well over $1 million worth, bought and sold well over $1 million on a $5,000 investment. Please bear in mind that this is an example of what's possible. Jill and I have done this we've grossly exceeded this. Is that the average person's experience? I don't know. I'll tell you, if you want to make $1 million in 24 months, if I had to do it today, what I would do is hyper focus on sending out perfect mailers. And I would buy $700,000 or $800,000 houses and mark them up $100,000 each. Mm-hmm. And my goal would be to do 10 deals a year. Mm-hmm. Jill and I do way more than this. How hard is it if you have a full-time job to do 1 deal a month when you have all the mail working for you and all the stuff in place like Pat Live? And it's not hard at all. Mm-hmm. So you can do it with $5,000 pieces of land all day long, or you can do it with houses. Or and that's what this course in January is all about. It's about not necessarily marking up 100 grand, but how easy it is to do the same thing with houses. In a lot of ways, at this point in our career, I think it's easier. Don't you, Jill?
Mm-hmm.
There just seems to be a lot less title issues and a lot less stuff with houses. But I'm not knocking it. Land is good.
Well, how much of it? Let's be honest. How much of it is us?
I don't know.
Well, no. I mean, it's true because of our experience now. Things seem to get easier, but it's because we've been through them now. We kind of know, and that's what everyone here has to expect. Mm-hmm. It's going to get easier, I promise. The first couple transactions, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, even just recording it. Okay, oops, I forgot that, whatever. That's okay.
Right.
By 10, you're going to get easier and easier and easier, and you'll have this down. All you need is one title one. Now you know how to do one, not title, but
you
one.
Look super pretty today.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you. One trustee situation. Now you got that one under your belt. Now you need one of these. You got that under your belt. So,
I mean, if you're going through title the whole time, which you do on houses, you never buy a house without title insurance. We never have.
And it's even easier.
So now you got somebody else closing your deal.
Yeah.
If you've got either some version of Pat Live or what's coming up Jill Live here.
Answering the phone.
So one by one, you're taking all the stress and the work out of this. And then you can just focus on pricing property in the mail. Mm-hmm. And Data Tree makes that. Mm-hmm. I just got off the phone with somebody who is a relatively experienced RealQuest user, and then they went and got the free version of Data Tree just to test it. Mm-hmm. And they came back and said, what I've confirmed for months here, it's like night and day. The data's the same, but I'll tell you what, it is amazing how easy Data Tree is to use.
It's the user experience, right?
I mean, the O2O manager, Jen, can attest for this. She started on RealQuest, and all she uses is Data Tree now. Mm-hmm. All I hear is positive stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. Shamba asks, I made a mistake on a property. I bought it for $4,000, found a buyer for $9,500. Then realized, oh, shoot, they've got a $6,000 lien on the property. Yeah. Call the lien holder to try and negotiate the lien down.
That's good.
And not sure if they'll move. Any ideas?
No, I mean, you did more than I would do. That's a fantastic, take full responsibility way to handle this.
Mm-hmm. Any ideas? Wasn't sure if I was not worth getting a lawyer who could help, or just take a slight loss and move on. Honestly.
Move on.
Yeah. Do you really want to spend that much time on it? And, every time this happens, Shem God, you're not alone. I mean, and I've had this conversation with myself and with other people. I'm here to tell you. And my answer is always the same. Well, I will only do that once. Gosh, have I made some...
So wait a second. This isn't as bad as it sounds. No. So it's $10,000. He's into the property for 10 and he's got a buyer for 10.
Right,
so
9.5.
If you hang out for 20, it might take a year. You're still going to make some money.
Yeah. You could do that.
I love to, tell a lien holder, if you get to the right person at whoever's holding the lien, and you can just say, I'm not going to pay it off. So here's $1,000, or you can just have the property. Chances are it'll take $1,000.
Yeah, or I'm going to walk. Mm-hmm. I'm going to send you a deed or a check. Which would you like? You have it. It's not even worth that.
The issue is getting to the right person. That's the challenge in that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. So, Steve has some more notes over here. Do you want me to add this to his thing from before? Oh, wait. We're going to circle back around to that in a second. Okay, I see it, Steve. So Jacob asks, I have somebody interested in selling their property, but there's a problem. Oh, these crack me up. There are 4 owners on the property, and they each own 25% of the property. Okay, I have a question about this in a second. Oh, no. Each of the owners has a separate APN, sounds like California, for that chunk of the property. And Parcelfact can't find the property when I entered in the APN. Is this the type of deal to avoid? Is this California, Jacob?
I would run.
Yeah, you just really can't, because, I mean, unless you say, I'm only going to do it if you all 4 are in the room.
Here's a background.
And you all 4 stand at the same time, and you all 4 meet the same notary, and you all 4 get a fourth of the money, because one person could mess the whole deal up, and then you own 3/4 of this property.
For a brief period of time in the 60s and 70s in certain parts of California, some assessor or assessors had the bright idea of assigning separate APNs to ownership percentages. I have literally seen one 10-acre property that's owned by 150 people, and there's 150 APNs assigned to that property. It destroys the deal. So I walk away. Luke's got a funny. Luke sent out a bunch of mail to. It's called undivided interest, and
Kern. Oh,
yeah,
that was
it's Kern.
Luke's.
Oh, it is
Luke's Kern.
So yeah.
So yeah, it's just
Just forget it. If you see UND in front of a legal description, it means undivided interest, and don't spend the money on sending them any offer there.
Yeah. Okay. Steve K asks. Okay, he's got some follow up here too. On your response to the first $6,000 purchase earlier about anything being recorded as a lien for the $7,000, there was nothing recorded other than the original PSA/conveyance document. I checked with the county recorder because I could get no information from Title Pro, even as an offline document. I guess this account does not have an online access to the documents. Oh. Yeah.
This brings up a bigger issue.
And then having to push the guy. Okay. I have something to say real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I have got a couple red flags. We got this red flag, Steve, and then he's got to close by the end of this month.
Yeah.
There's another red flag.
Thank you.
So do we need more red flags? Because I can come up with more. I think that's enough to say, look, buddy, because if you're his only hope right now. So if he's really going to push you on it, then we're just not going to work out, kind of thing. I got to make sure my ducks in a row. I'm not sending you money just because you're in a hurry. So anything you want to add? I'm sorry. Was that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I'll marry you, but it has to be by the end of the month.
Exactly.
Is that a red flag or not?
Right.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think that's a red flag is what I mean.
Mm-hmm. JT asks, with Title Mind, what if there are other things involved like clearing a lien, etc.? Do you get the documents together and clear those as part of the Title Mind services?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just like just like if you do the full title product, heck yes.
Mm-hmm.
Its lien releases are when the money comes in. It's just like selling a house. Title Mind is a full-blown title company, just like First American Title.
Mm-hmm.
We also happen to offer a product that's tailored toward us, where you don't get title insurance. We just close the deal for you. Escrow only.
Mm-hmm. Jacob said that one before, by the way, the 4 people, it's in Texas, and he's happy not dealing with it also. So,
wow, Texas did it too, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
If you were looking high, this is a bigger issue. If you were pulling your hair out, if you're staring in front of an APN in any state, and you're pulling your hair out, you can't find it on Parcel Fact. You can't find, that's a huge red flag. Somebody in our group was working with an assessor recently trying to find a property because it was a good deal. The assessor couldn't find it. The buyer couldn't find it. The seller had no idea where it was. And so for days, everybody's trying to find this property. And I was watching, we were both chuckling, Jill and I. I'm like, I've been through this before. You just have to cut the line sometimes. Mm-hmm. The fishing line.
Cut the line. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let them swim away.
Yep.
With a hook in their mouth.
Yep.
And your fancy lure. You can buy another one. And yep, I gotcha.
Right. Okay.
Ellen asked.
You know what's funny?
Tell me.
95% of the stuff we talk about on the show is all bad. Well, we should have a celebration, 15 minutes of celebration or something.
Yeah, we are hearing that.
Like the deals the stuff that you and I do is unbelievable.
Like the buying 10. Bought 10 today. Yay.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, feel free to put some good stuff in there. I do like that too. So thank you, Jack. Alan, well, we have some good ones here. I sold a 13-acre property to a guy for $3,000. He paid $1,750 down via a cashier's check and then signed a contract for a deed at $250 per month for 5 months. Super curious what you paid for it when you got it, Alan, by the way. The guy was super happy about buying it. His first payment was due on the 16th of the month. I've tried to contact him via email, text, and get nothing but crickets. Any advice? Yeah. I mean, I'd keep trying, but worst case scenario, you're going to take your $1,750 and run and just remarket the property.
Yeah.
That could happen. Something could have happened to the guy.
And then tomorrow morning, wake up, look in the mirror and say, do I want to be a cash salesperson or a term salesperson? Mm-hmm. And either one's fine. But this is not uncommon, what you've experienced.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I love this. Here, thank you, Luke. Luke added some good ones here. I bought one I couldn't find in Texas for $75. Sold it for $1,500. Then an oil company called and said they needed the land for a pipeline, and they've been trying to find the owner for years. My buyer made out big time.
That's a beautiful. Hey, Luke, just want to say, where's all the positive news? Thank you.
Yeah, well, Luke didn't. Well, it's still Luke's ROI is pretty good from $75 to $1,500, but it could have been even bigger. So
that's beautiful. Yeah. That's a beautiful story.
Yep. I love it. Yep. Okay. Will your new title company work for all states or just Arizona? Jared asks.
The escrow piece of the title company will work in all states for sure. You just need to be licensed in the state that you operate in. The title piece of it that's up to our underwriter, and we're still discussing it. But for sure, the escrow piece works everywhere in all 50 states, and I'm 99.9% sure that the title piece will also. And here's why, because and when I say underwriter, what it really means is, yeah, we're a title company and we're licensed as escrow title, but we don't do the title policies. We send them off to our underwriter. We have a choice of underwriters, and we choose First American most of the time. There's certain weird cases where there's coverage that First American doesn't handle, and there's a company that specializes in rural property, doing policies on rural property called Red Vision. And as luck would have it, they just got purchased by First American. So I'm feeling very confident that we'll have all coverage.
Okay, I'm going to circle back around to a positive here, Jack. Thank you, Alan, for sharing this with us. So we just talked about the guy skipping town. So here's the deal. The buyer, Alan, had this 13-acre property that he technically sold for $3,000, where the guy paid a $1,750 down payment, right, and then $250 a month. Now, what Alan just added is he paid $1,400 for the whole thing. So he got his money back in his down payment. So we are, and then some. So we are all golden here. So basically, you just got all your money back, and you probably still own the property because this guy is not coming around. And so this is awesome. So
just be a little careful with that.
Yep.
And you want to be respectful. Obviously, this guy changed his mind or something happened. So if he does come back in 30 days, just make sure you didn't sell it to 3 more people.
Yeah. Boy, I have some that it was weird. Like they paid for 2 years, and then they just fall off the planet. And really, seriously, I think that they're hoping I don't come after them. We don't come after them. So they're grateful.
They just go dark. It's
and I'm
really
like,
weird.
Well, shucks, guys, I'd work with you if you really wanted, because you have been paying for 2 years. You kind of paid for it. They don't know that. But I'm so happy to help people out, when they come forward in life, even in children.
You know what I love is when they come to you and say, after paying for 2 years on a 5-year contract, and they say, I've been paying for this thing, and I've got $1,000 here. How about I send you $1,000 and you deed me the property, and I own it free and clear? And
heck yeah.
That's the answer is almost always yes to that.
We should reach out to them. We haven't, like, hey, by the way, you're getting close. You want to just call it done and do this instead of paying me this for a while?
Right.
Yep. Love it. Okay. Luke Smith asks, what states? Okay, here we go. States and our counties. Are you doing title in? When can I answer that? Are you really a title company with the regulations and all, or more of a closing shop and not selling insurance and getting into the regulations?
Yeah, so I kind of answered that with the previous question, but to be super clear on it, our Escrow product is all 50 states. All we're doing is closing your deal. We're managing all the crap that you don't want to manage. We're going to close it just like you are. We're going to find a notary. We're going to deliver your cashier's check to the seller with the notary and manage all the paperwork and record it for you. That's the escrow piece. The title piece is we are technically acting as a settlement agency, that's the correct term, on behalf of the underwriter of our choice, which usually is either First American or Red Vision. So we do not issue title insurance. We don't get into any of that. We act as a settlement agency or a settlement agent.
Can I add title insurance if I want it?
Yeah. You're going to get a First American title policy.
Thank you.
Here's a big benefit. I mentioned it really early in the thing. Every single deal that you do, you have one person to contact. There's no more going to find, and then you know how long it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of cool software back-end stuff where you can see where the transaction is. You log in, kind of like a pizza tracker. Seriously, it looks like pizza tracker.
I know that you love the pizza tracker thing. You
I want to know where my deal is.
You want me to have a pizza tracker in life. It's just so you know, she's almost out the door. Oh, she's almost here.
Not for
Don't you want a pizza tracker?
I don't want to track you at all.
Oh, God.
I'd like to track projects you're working on.
Okay. Don't you want to know when dinner's ready?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Or when I'll be home? No.
Stacy tracker.
All right. Nice.
There's a girl inside of jail, and her name's Stacy.
Oh, boy.
And after a couple of glasses of wine, Stacy comes out. It's pretty fun.
We haven't talked about Stacey in a while.
Stacy tracker.
Thank you. Oh, it's hilarious. Okay. Jessica asks, we have a property that is getting a lot of interest. However, at some point in the process, a potential buyer is discovering that the wells are running dry in the area, and then they back out. Should we cut our losses with this one and try to sell ASAP? I know people can haul water. Maybe we just wait for the right buyer. Our price is about 30 to 40% of properties in the area. Thank you.
Why do they know about this water thing?
I know. I never really get that much into it, too. So I kind of have it priced appropriately, assuming there's going to be water brought in or they're going to figure it out.
Me too. And then when wells run dry, don't you just go deeper?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. And
don't give up, though, no matter what. If you're 30-40% lower than like-kind properties in the area, I think you just wait it out.
She's 60 to 70% lower because she's 30-40% of the other properties in the area.
Okay.
Jessica, sit tight and just you are and you know what? Oh, I gotta add to this.
Sign up for Heartland.
Sit tight
Payment and take credit cards. That'll solve it.
It's coming. What I want to ask was, this often happens on our weekly call. We had a gentleman that, I don't remember, what was it, last week or the week before? Like, I sent on all the offers and I didn't even get my test one yet, and it's been going on X days. And then Jen looked into it, and then, like, I'm not kidding, the very next day, like, sure enough, I'm like, I almost said it on the call. I said, wait, tomorrow's going to be the day that the letters are going to hit. And sure enough, that's what happened.
Right.
So, and Jessica, you would not be alone because we've had people that go, my property's not selling. And then the next day they go, oh, it's sold. Never mind. It's like literally the day after. Like, okay. So I know you get anxious, but sit tight. Michael asks, is drilling a well considered accessing the mineral rights?
It's a great question. As I understand it, it's different in every state, but I can speak for out west here. That's water rights. So you can own mineral rights, you can own water rights, and you can own what we all deal in as surface rights.
Right. That's my understanding too. Hey, Anwar. Anwar asks, I got a seller who agreed on an option for a trailer park lot for $15,000. I priced it thinking I can sell it for $25,000 as the past sales had supported. I found out the guy had this property on sale for $20,000 for 160 days or something on Redfin, though. What has been your experience with situations like this? The property checks out to sell for $20,000 like the other comps. Is it a marketing sales issue?
Yeah.
None of exposure or something else going on with it that I don't know about? Should I try and negotiate it down? Walk, try to get a deal and try to get it and then sell it for $25,000? My gut says walk because it's not a slam dunk, run to the bank deal, but I don't want to miss out on opportunities because they just aren't slam dunks. True.
I would, in this situation with the numbers that you've given, I would, I would sick Jill on them, but if it were just me, I would say, look, I'm in the business of, with this kinds of things, say, I've got $5,000 worth of name on it next week. Mm-hmm. It's a take it or leave it offer. I'm not going to negotiate from there. And chances are they'll come back. But come back with the $5,000. But that's personally, this is really, in the end, Anwar, this is a personal thing. You have to kind of decide what you want to do.
Option for 15. They tried to sell it for 20. They know that's not for 160 days. I also think that, only on Redfin. Well, that's ridiculous. That means they had it out there on one place, priced wrong.
Yeah.
So nobody saw it, and it wasn't good. Probably had terrible photos or no photos, too, by the way.
All that.
So,
it sounds like a combination of a lot of bad stuff that you can solve. But if you're going to solve it all, let's make it worth your while.
Yeah, that's true. Get it. Then I would say 10. I'll buy it for 10 right now. Otherwise, have a nice day.
I'd
or
go
5.
for 5.
Okay.
It's not like that property is not like a house where it's going to sell in 30 days or less. That's the problem with that. If those numbers were put as 0 on all those numbers and that whole thing, and it was a house, I would do that right away.
I don't remember what this was about in Texas.
It was the undivided interest.
Okay, got it. Shem got asked with the property I made the mistake on. Anything else I should have done before buying? I think on this one, I probably just missed calling the county to check liens. It was okay, I have something to say about this.
Yeah,
it was a lien from a credit union, but some counties won't share that info. Should I be hiring someone to do a lien search on each property to avoid a future mess up? Was small enough, $4,000, where I didn't need title, which would likely, I caught it, but trying to figure out how I can make sure I catch future ones without doing
That's
title.
the right question. How do I avoid this in the future?
Well, first of all, I'm shocked and amazed that a credit union would even loan money on that.
Well, that brings me to my answer is there are certain types of real estate that you can pull liens on, you can lend against, and there's certain that you can't. In general, the asset type that we all talk about, this rural vacant land, a bank won't touch it or a credit union won't touch it. And if it does have a lien, it's usually a lien from one of us, like we lent it. We loan the money to one of our buyers to buy it. So that's why it doesn't pay in general for this asset type, the rural vacant property type, to pull a lien report. But until recently, really recently actually, it's so easy to pull a lien report in RealQuest, DataTree, or Title Pro. And this would have smoked it out. In fact, I would actually spend the money and go back into one of those, go back into Title Pro and pull a lien report or RealQuest and see if it shows up. If it's a credit union, I'm sure it shows up.
Right.
So that's what I would do in the future. But I wouldn't do it on rural vacant property at all. I think you're wasting your time. Chances are this asset is probably, if it's land, it's like an infill lot between two houses.
Right.
Because that kind of property
special about it,
you can lend against. It's called improved property. There's unimproved property like rural vacant land, and there's improved property like houses or infill lots.
Because utilities and everything are already right there.
Yeah, so you can lend against that.
That makes sense. That's true. Because most of the time it doesn't really come up. What we're buying out there, there's not even a chance anybody would do it. So, and then if it's a bigger deal, we all know, and we're doing it the traditional way.
Somebody told me in our group who's doing a lot of deals in Texas that's kind of changed really recently. Like regular banks, big name brand banks, are starting to warm up to lending on like a 40-acre property in the middle of Texas with no access.
That's funny.
I don't know if that's true. That's what I heard.
So this is a good one. Tony asks, to wholesale houses, is it specific by state if I need to be licensed? Why do you even need a license if you're buying the asset?
It's the same exact ownership scenario as land.
It's like saying you cannot sell a car in California unless you are a used car salesman or whatever. You're a licensed car salesman or whatever it is.
This is one of Jill's favorite topics.
Oh, I love it.
This is like poking the bear.
It is poking the bear.
You don't need Tony, you don't need a license at all to do any of this.
And you can never buy an airplane ticket unless you buy it through a travel agent. No, I'm serious. But this is one of my pet peeves with the whole real estate industry. I don't know why everyone can grasp their head around buying and selling their own car. And we can all wrap our head around, booking our own flights and hotels and cruises. But why we have a hang up on the real estate thing, I am personally taking responsibility.
I knew this was going to happen.
And I'm going to. Did you plant this? You told Tony to ask
No,
this. Did you send that? Okay, all right.
But I will next time.
Thank you.
It's funny for me.
I know. It's one of my pet peeves. So, no, you don't need a license. So
here's why you need a real estate license. Everybody memorize this. If you're going to represent someone else in the purchase or sale of their real estate, if you are buying property yourself or selling property yourself, you don't need anybody.
Bingo. Thank you, Jack. Brian asks, are we going over? Are we cool? We can keep going?
Yeah, sure. It's okay.
Okay, good. Brian asks, I've been getting ready to send out mailers to an area that has recently affected. Oh, we had one that someone accidentally did this, like right before the fire hit.
Yeah, what was her name?
Shucks. Oh, wait.
It started with an A.
Was it Kelly? No, it wasn't Kelly. Oh, that was Kelly, right? Okay. Brian says, I've been getting ready to send out mailers to an area. that has recently been affected by the California fires. This will reduce the attractiveness of those properties if they have been burned. But on the other hand, and they may be more willing sellers, any advice on how I might adjust my offers? Perhaps proceed as normal. We talked about this with Kiri, I think, too, because of the South. I mean, you want to tread lightly. You don't want anyone think that you're like an ambulance chaser. Right, Jack? Like
I have
tough.
been in this exact situation, not in the recent past, in the distant past, and I pulled it all together. Mm-hmm. It was before I spent the money on the actual postage, but I just ate the data cost because I hate the idea of storm chasing.
Yeah, that's the better term.
So, but that's a personal preference. You know, I can guarantee you this: if you do let that thing go, if you do send the mail out, there's going to be a few people that come back and say you're the scum of the earth for trying to take advantage of people who just lost their property.
Right.
That's out of, while I talk a good game, that's way out of my comfort level it's just, we're here to help people, and so I don't want that to even be on anyone's radar that we're trying to take advantage of anything.
Jack, that's one of the reasons why I appreciate you. No, seriously, I love it. It's nice when you thank you, Jack, for saying that, and that's exactly right.
I just say it so that you continue to sleep with me.
Well, it's working. Chuck. Hi, Chuck. Chuck asks, I've really gotten into Jack's recommended process of analyzing data. Thank you. I enjoy doing it. Thank you. There are a couple things that I'm struggling with. Using Redfin, I get a sale and active listing data for an area in a county. I convert to dollars per square foot per acre as appropriate. The difficulties in trying to make sense out of a widely varying price in a relatively small area. I'd like to be able to sort the data further to compare apples to apples. Not sure if there's a way to do that other than to go through manually and look for reasonable comparisons. I'm willing to do this, but would rather automate it if possible. Thank you.
I have a lot to say on this. Ready?
Ready.
This is an extremely intelligent question. Right before this call, I got off an hour-long call that went an hour for a data deal review. Some of the most intelligent members in our group. And they're partnering up, so I can't even wait to see what happens. And they asked me the same thing. And here's my answer. I've clearly caused some confusion about Redfin, so I'm going to try to solve it now. Redfin. Here's how I use Redfin. I use Redfin as an overview, as a 35,000 foot. Let's go take a look at what properties are selling in Ohio or something like that. And I choose an area based on that. After that, I close Redfin and I never open it again. I never use it for pricing. I never use it for days on market. I never use it for any of that stuff. And here's why. DataTree and RealQuest to some extent, but DataTree for sure, provides all that data directly from the assessor or from associated MLSs. It's truly an amazing tool. Completed sales and days on market data from Redfin, it's just too hard to do it. In DataTree, you can pull it all right out of a spreadsheet. In most cases, not in every single one. So when you're pulling data from lots of different sources and putting it all into a spreadsheet, there's so much room for error. And what you really want to do is utilize the data either from RealQuest or DataTree from the assessor. And if you've chosen the area correctly, that's all you're going to need. You're not going to need anything else. You can extrapolate days on market and the whole thing. If it's an urban area and you're doing houses, I'm hoping this is for houses.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you.
Did I confuse you?
No,
Did you stop listening?
No, I did stop listening. Just kidding.
Did you?
No, I didn't. You were all good. No.
Here, one final thought.
Yeah.
And this is what I told these guys. All of the answers to this whoever asked this question is clearly intelligent. I mean, crazy data,
Check.
like data weird intelligent. You are a perfect candidate to take this class that Jill and I are going to do in January because we actually do a mailer. And we get into the rock bottom detail of all of this stuff and how I personally, why we're successful, how I get over and price stuff. Mm. So it sounds like you're right there. You just need some confirmation and it would be money well spent for you.
Thank you.
And time.
Thank you.
Now I'm done.
Are you sure? Hey, I have a nice little thing that Kevin just shared
Is he done talking yet?
about the forest fire stuff. He said that it happened to him. He said, I sent out mail to a large area that was heavily damaged before. All the responders were told that I had to send someone out to inspect the property. I only bought the ones that were not burned, and everyone was really understanding with how he handled it.
Okay.
So,
great.
yeah. So
that's a great, timely response. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks. That's awesome. Hey, Greg. Greg asks, is it a good idea to ask a seller of a larger property if they are open to owner financing? My thinking is that may allow me to purchase on my own, or if I have a financial partner, it will decrease their cash up front and increase their return when we sell it while not having to deal with a bank to purchase. Just wondering if anyone has experience with that strategy.
It's a great idea, but just be prepared that if it doesn't sell, you're going to be out the several months of payments. Number one, and then number two, I tried this in the past. What ends up happening is if it doesn't sell, you're tempted to do what's called a wrap, where you buy a property and you're making a payment. Let's say it's $1,000 a month.
Oh, I don't like these.
And then you sell it on terms for $1,200 a month, and your triage is $200 a month. It's a mess.
These.
It's a paperwork mess, and everybody ends up unhappy, and they go home crying, except the guy who owns a property free and clear.
Exactly.
Which could be you and your financial partner if you find one. Yep. So if it's that good of a deal, I wouldn't horse around with this creative stuff. I would just find a partner. There's a lot of rich people in our group, by the way.
Yes, there are. That is true. There are a lot of people that I'm noticing that are funding a lot of other deals.
In the last, have you seen this? In the last several, 2 weeks, there are just people that are popping up saying price is no object. What is it?
Do you know what's so funny? Well, it's like our deal board is like an REI meetup or something, like an REI meeting where they're standing in the back of the room.
Right. That's right.
With all this money, just waiting and watching to see who's got a good deal. And then they're going to stop them on their way out the door saying, hey, I'll fund that deal. Yeah, come here, I got the money.
Right.
Call me on Monday.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, that's what's going on. I love it. JT asks, a sharing a win. Thank you.
Oh, good.
We sent a 1,500 unit mailer. 50 days later, we have brought 4 properties, sold 2 so far, and lots of interest in the other 2. One we bought for $4,000 and sold it for $8,000 down, everyone, and payments for 12 years at 10% interest of $225. So what is it? You bought for $4,000 and you're selling for $30,000? The other we bought for $25,000 and we sold for $35,000.
And so, is my math right?
Thank you.
The 1,500 unit mailer that you sent out cost you $750.
Yeah.
To make tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And the other 2 aren't sold yet.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, you haven't sold the other. It's all gravy. That's awesome. Yay. Curious, Shem got asked, curious, since you prefer mostly to sell mostly cash sales, I do as well. How much markup do you use when someone really wants it, but just doesn't have the cash?
If they're dying to have it, there's something, when somebody's dying to have it, I don't know. And it sounds like you got a ton of deals coming in. You're in a good position because if you have a lot of deals coming in, you can sell a property for, mark it up 50% and still feel okay.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
We do that a lot. It depends on the situation, but every once in a while, somebody's like, it's usually like, hey, this is my backyard. This is not, I'm not just somebody this is a property that I need it. Mm-hmm. It's real specific.
I'm a fan of too. Often I get people because, we're doing wholesale or so I'm selling to other people, right, that want to mark it up and do something. I'm a fan of packaging them up. You know what?
Yeah.
You can have this one for $6. I'll give you these 2 for $8. Kind of thing. So like, oh, really? Or something like that. That's right. Not the right amount, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob asks, would you still recommend getting into tax lien foreclosure as an acquisition vehicle? I just listened to an Older Land Academy podcast and I'm very interested. Also, have you ever done tax lien foreclosure anywhere besides Arizona?
I'll answer the last question first. Have I ever foreclosed on a tax lien elsewhere other than Arizona? And the answer is no. And here's why, because I just don't want to learn the other regs. It's as simple as that. It's very profitable. Here's the problem with tax lien foreclosures. And I would recommend, if you're into that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend that you look into it further. The problem with tax lien foreclosures is it's a lot of work. You have to get up in the morning and you have to go actively do stuff. So let's say, if you contact Cochise County, Arizona, and you ask them to send you the CD, or worse yet, the printout of the tax liens, it's like a banker's box printout.
Right.
And so great. Now you get all excited. This has happened to me 100 times. You get excited, you get the thing in the mail, you get the CD, you download it, and there's all this beautiful property. And then you run the numbers, and you're like, man, if I buy all of this, I'm going to make like $25 million. And then you start analyzing each property, and you use Parcel Factor or whatever. And so you get 50 properties in, and yet let's say you have 20 grand to spend, and you're like, it's not possible for me to analyze all this data. So now you're working. You could have been spending all of that time sending letters out and then just opening the mail and saying, oh, I'm going to make $6,000 on this one. Let's open the next letter. I'm going to make $12,000 on this one, and on and on and on. And so then the banker's box with the printout collects a lot of dust and eventually goes in the recycling bin. Jill's sleeping over there.
Totally. You know what's interesting too is that you just touched on something. How much time do we have to do on this? A lot of people here have day jobs, and it's not even physically possible to really ramp up and get where you need to be, right? Doing that, Jack, based on what you just described to me, how much time do I want to put in?
Remember in the program I say, it's all about reach. So you want to reach the highest number of people, the highest number of people you can with the least amount of work. And then they're going to decide for you what's going to happen. So tax liens are a great way to buy super cheap property. The properties that I bought in the past in Arizona, where I buy a 160-acre property that's got a 5-year, it's past the 5 years, like the tax lien's more than 5 years old, for like $80 or $90. And go sell it for $25,000. So that's totally possible and conceivable to do it, even this day and age. The amount of time and energy it's going to take for you to do that, if you would have done that with mail, you would have made way more money than that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Can I go on now?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I have some funny thing. I see some funny things here coming, like Luke's right here. This is really good. Okay, so Luke Smith said, I have 40 acres in Nevada. I have a buyer in New Mexico. They asked me to mail them directions, and maps to find it. They are going to load up the truck while waiting for my mail.
Oh, no.
They are moving there.
Oh, no.
They have never seen it.
Oh, Luke.
They have nowhere to go back to.
They want to get off the grid.
It's in the middle of nowhere. I want to cheer them on, but at the same time, should I be cautioning them? This is in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know how they got my phone number, as they are not online.
They don't use computers.
They use computers. What if it sells on their way out there? They have no phone. Fingers crossed. It's the Clampetts.
Well, they're running from something.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good. I would love to hear how that ends.
Me too.
That's so good.
Please don't give them your home address.
Right. Angela asks, I have a question about the first wave of angry callers. Yep. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Angela. I love
Jill
this.
Jill does this for fun.
Oh, yeah.
For sport.
I do this for sport. Have you ever managed to turn an angry caller into a person that ends up selling you the property? Yes, I have. What strategies can you suggest to accomplish this? Thanks, Angela. Number one, I blame it on Jack that the pricing is all wrong.
Awesome.
I tell them, no, and I'm serious. I mean, when they call up, because here's my thoughts. They're calling me for a reason. Most people, I firmly believe, are not going to take time out of their day to call me to tell me, stop sending me pizza coupons. I'm just going to throw it away. But if they're calling me, I take that as a signal that they might be interested, just not the right price. So I first say, oh my gosh, make a joke. I'm so sorry. It's worth what? Whatever they think it is. I kind of calm them down a little bit with that. I'm like, okay, really? And then I talk to them about, all right, seriously, where did you get that number? And I mean, that's really it. I kind of make a joke out of it. Like maybe we left off a 0 or a 3, or something silly. And when you talk to them and you're a good person and you say, hey, And, are you, well, okay, regardless of what the letter says, are you even interested in selling? And then they're going to go, well, yeah. Okay, well, then let's talk. And then you go into that conversation. And then I've had this too, where they are adamant that is worth 10,000 and I'm at 1,000. And they're still, I always, my goal is to always leave the door open. So, because if I could buy it for 10 and sell it for 12,000, that's not good enough for me. I'm not going to do that. But maybe buying it for 2 or 3 and selling it for 9. That's really what I'm going for. So I would tell them, here's the deal. I understand, and there's times I just have to walk away. I often walk away. Here's my price, and look, I'll tell you what, I really understand, and so if you change your mind in the next 30 days, I will still honor that price. I've got that money allocated, and I'm happy to do it. Otherwise, gosh, I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for your time, and I let them go. And you'd be surprised how many times they come back.
Yeah. I am surprised how many times they come back with you.
They do. So it's funny.
They're checking to see if you're just a truly awful person.
Well, or they go out, they really think that they could go out and sell it. No, this is what I think too. Now they know there's interest. Well, they think that there's interest, right? Because they got a letter from me. Now they're going to go out and start to peddle it on their own, and they go, nobody wants it. She's really the only one that is interested, is what I think happens. And so they go, well, you know what? We got nothing, or we got this person who's offering us $1,000. I think I'll take the $1,000 tomorrow.
So you're driving down the street and then somebody cuts you off and you get the chance, everybody's all riled up. And then if you never want to do this in real life, but theoretically, if you get to talk to the person and say, what the hell was that all about? There's 2 ways they can handle that. They can stand there and say, you know what? You're really right. I clearly made a mistake. That's not a typical thing for me. I was distracted, and please accept my apology. Then the whole thing got diffused, right? That's what Jill does. And the other way is, I'm going to kill you. And you don't want that. Nobody wants that. So, so what Jill does is she diffuses the situation, and she then probably doesn't even know that she's doing it. Starts down the path of establishing a trust with the potential seller. Mm-hmm. And once they find out it's not a horrific road rage situation, and that, these guys are really for real, they just want to buy property for a little bit less than it's worth because that's what they do, and Jill's not a horrible person, they warm up to it.
Also, Angela, everybody seems to calm down when I say I'm not a broker.
Yeah.
I'm not an agent. I really can make the deal. This is my company, and this is what we do. They go, oh, okay. They seem to like that. You know what I mean? They get it. And as do I. It's like when I'm dealing with somebody, I don't want to go through the agent. I want to talk to the real person. Because when they say yes, I know it's a real yes, and we can all act on it.
Right.
So good question. Jared, okay, we got a few more. I'm going to try to get through these. It's late. Jared said, when did you guys say the car offer program was coming out?
That keeps getting pushed down, mostly because Jill doesn't have a lot of interest in it. We're going to launch in the first quarter of 2018 a company called offersacademy.com, and that will involve the same concept that we use here to buy land and houses for everything else. Boats, planes, everything that's database driven. As if there's a database of ownership in it, like DMV records and stuff, it'll address that.
Thank you. I have a grid on this one. Tony asks, on Bigger Pockets, there's a posting. Someone had a posting. Ohio is fining wholesalers if not licensed for marketing a house that they do not own. Well, that's easy. Pay for it.
Wait a minute. Ohio is fining wholesalers if they're not licensed for marketing a house they don't own.
Well, what's the equitable title then?
No, wait. I think that's right. If you are marketing a house
that's true.
that you don't own,
you right.
should get in trouble.
Good point.
If you're marketing a house where you have equitable title, i.e. an option agreement that's signed and dated, you're in total compliance.
Yep. Totally agree. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't want to be out there marketing my house.
Right.
And then they're going to get a buyer and then come and let me know or do something? No way.
That's right.
You're right. Thank you. That is correct. Thank you, Chuck. He liked that, and he's heading to Data Tree. All right. Last one here. Christian asks, I've been wholesaling in Ohio since, this is a follow-up, I think, on some stuff here. So I'm going to read it anyway. Thank you, Christian. to Tony. I've been wholesaling in Ohio since December. Oh, on that thing. Thank you. And I've done about 17 wholesale transactions. I am also licensed, but I do a lot of business with others who are not licensed. So here's my 2 cents.
Excellent.
Thank you, Christian, for doing
This is good.
Perfect. You have to be really clear about what you're trying to accomplish. You are selling a contract, rights to a purchase agreement, not a house. So when marketing, you need to be marketing the rights to the purchase agreement. I think the people who are getting fined are not making this explicitly clear in their advertisements.
Oh.
In my opinion, no one is going to get fined in the first place unless for some reason they piss off the seller. Good
That's
point. If you are clear and upfront with the seller about what you're trying to accomplish,
That's what I've been saying for years.
thank you, you will mitigate potential future problems.
I couldn't agree
If you
more.
don't, and the deal goes south, the seller reports you to the state sees your marketing property, not a contract, fines can follow. Thank you, Christian.
I could not agree more.
Totally agree.
I believe you just be with the right group, and all that stuff. You're going to say, look, I'm making 10 grand on this house. If you've got a problem with that, you need to tell me now. I'll go find another buyer. That diffuses it all.
Yep. Exactly. That's perfect. Thank you very much.
We did go over.
We did go way over. Okay, cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Great call. Great Thursday.
As promised, we will be here exactly the same time on Zoom here with the same call letters. Happy acquisitions.
Thank you. Bye.